Salve, we're finishing up lesson 19 here with lines 472 to 476. Aeneas and Dido are finishing up their interchange between each other. Tandem corripuit sesatque nimica refugit in nemus umbriferum conjunx ubi pristinus illi respondet curis aequatque sicaius amorem. Tandem, finally. And remember, what was happening before this was Dido was looking away from him. So this obviously seems to have gone on for a little while for Vergil to say finally. Corripuit sese. She snatched herself. She flung herself away. She snatched herself. The subject is Dido, and the object is Dido. Sese, a longer form of se. Finally, she took herself away and refugit, and she fled back. Inimica, hostile. She is hostile to Aeneas. And she fled back, hostile, in nemus umbriferum, into the shady grove. Now this is nemus is grove, umbriferum, literally bearing shade, bearing umbras, into the shady grove. This is accusative direction towards, neuter, so nemus and umbriferum go together, neuter, accusative, singular. Where, ubi, where her, this is illy dative of reference, Farr says. I would almost think it would be possession, maybe, too. Where her first husband, and this is Sychaeus, named down here, where her earlier husband, or first husband, Pristinus, conjunx, Pristinus, where her first husband, and this is dative again, remember, illy. Illy is one of those adjectives that has the rather different dative and genitive, the ius in the genitive and the e in the dative. And so this is dative, where her first husband respondet, responds. Now this is present tense. Curis, with cares, or perhaps it's to her cares. I guess it could be either. Either responds to her cares or with cares. I think to her cares would be better. So we'll go with dative on that. To her cares. And aequat equals her love. Aequat, her love. And then Sychaeus is in apposition to conjunx pristinus, so they mean the same person. One more time, where her earlier husband, or her first husband, responds to her cares, and Sychaeus equals her love. Same person, Sychaeus and the conjunx pristinus. Now this is a nice image that Vergil put in here, because we see that Dido has some consolation in the underworld, having Sychaeus, the husband she loved, there to comfort her. Properly, in Vergil's underworld, he shouldn't be there, because he didn't die for love, but Vergil's underworld doesn't seem to be hard and fast according to rules, so Sychaeus can be with Dido if Vergil wishes him to be there. Nec minus Aeneas casu percussus iniquo prosequitur lacrimis longet miseratur eiuntem. Nec, and not, less, does Aeneas, and this is subject, does Aeneas, percussus, struck, or shaken, And I think you can also have concussus here. I'm not sure if the AP syllabus has concussus or percussus, but they both mean essentially the same thing, that he is shaken, and not less is Aeneas shaken. And how is he shaken? By the unfair or the harsh misfortune. We've got interlocking order here. By the harsh misfortune. Now this means the misfortune of Dido. But we know that Aeneas has his own misfortune as well, that he had to leave Carthage by the fates, and he's on this whole mission that he doesn't necessarily always want to be on. Dido has someone to comfort her, but Aeneas has no one to comfort him. So this is an interesting picture that we see here. And not less was Aeneas shaken by her harsh misfortune. And I shouldn't say is shaken, I should just say shaken, because this is just the participle, perfect passive participle. And not less Aeneas shaken by her harsh misfortune, prosequitur, follows, and you got to put in eiam, her, meaning Dido, with tears, longe, from afar. So as she flees into this wood, he's still looking after her, following her with his vision at least, maybe even walking after her, we could assume. And not less, Aeneas, shaken with her harsh misfortune, follows her from afar with tears, and pities her going. And you got to put in eiam again with here, eiuntem. So we got two verbs here, prosequitur, which is a deponent, and miseratur, which is also a deponent. Prosequitur is a compound from sequitur, from sequor, prosequor, follows her, and then miseror is, miseratur is from that. Again, deponents, although they're passive in form, we translate them actively. And then eiuntem, this goes also with eiam, her going, and this is a present active participle from eio ire, the verb to go, her going as she leaves. A very sad picture at the end here, Aeneas just watching Dido with tears from afar and pitying her as she goes. And this is the last time he'll see her. We know also again from Lacrimis that Vergil lets us know over and over Aeneas does care for her. His tears, his sweet love that he speaks to her earlier with, and that tears well up when he talks to her. We've seen several times, very subtly, that Aeneas cared about Dido. One more time in the Latin, and then we'll wrap up lesson 19 here. Tandem corripuit cessat quinimica refugit in nemus umbri ferrum, conjunx ubi pristinus illi respondet curis, aequatque sic eius amorem, nec minus Aeneas cassu percussus iniquo, prosequitur lacrimis longet miseratur eiuntem.